Oops, college wants to kill their feral cat program. I am not Oop. Oop is UNVM the butterflies. Posing in our colony cats. Great place for resources. Fun fact to hide spoilers. If you see a cat wandering around with a clipped ear, they were almost certainly part of a trap-neuter release program, usually shortened to TNR. These are exactly what they sound like. They get the cats, sterilize them, then release them back into their territory. They're usually marked by getting their ear snipped. It's visible from a distance and doesn't involve any negative health outcomes. In America, you'll usually see the whole tip of the ear clipped. But in Japan, a sakura, cherry blossom cut is common, where they take a lil V-clip to make it look like, well, a cherry blossom. It's very cute. Trigger warning. Discussion of animal harm. Less than. Mood spoiler. Frustrating. Worrying. Less than. Hash help trapping trap-savvy cats. April 24th, 2023. Hello everyone. A first-time poster. So I apologize if this isn't necessarily the right place to post this. However, I need urgent help with catching very trap-savvy cats. The question at hand. Has anyone been successful with using trap nets such as this one? These cats. I'm trying to catch one full colony that needs to be relocated. There is 2 females, one with 2 babies, and 2 males. Thankfully, after a whole 6 months, we were able to catch the 3rd male that we had. These cats avoid the trap cages as soon as they are even within 20 feet and go into hiding. Even the drop trap does not work. We've used all sorts of bait: fried chicken, sardines, tuna, wet cat food, salmon, fresh fish from the market, dry food, etc. Nothing seems to work. But these cats, when the trap cages are not out, will get pretty close to people. Not to be pet, but close enough where I think one of the nets may work. Does anyone have any experience? Context on relocation. I am in a college-based TNR group in which campus operations has now taken an issue to our TNR efforts, although we have spayed, neutered more than 18 cats this semester and adopted out 14. Anyways, this colony is their main concern, as they have been causing destruction and are a health violation due to where they are located. Therefore, we have compromised on bringing these cats through a barn cat situation. If not, their only other option is euthanasia. So, it is very important that we trap these cats. We have been trying to since November 2022 and have only caught 2 kittens adopted out, and 1 silly male who is now in the process of transitioning to be a barn cat. Please help. Edit. I forgot to mention, I also think these cats have been trapped before or know what the traps do. Many of them accidentally got into one of the campus buildings 23 summers back, and it was a large ordeal with animal control and campus operations. Lozenge. Comments. Thread 1. Woman thorned. Netting is very difficult. Requires a professional and lots of practice. On a college campus. Where? What are the laws? I find it difficult to believe common sentiment is for removal. You should trap train. Or rather, the college campus should trap train. This is not them doing you a favor. This is you doing favors for free that benefits only them. There are no professors of biology, zoology, agriculture, city planning you can get to weigh in on this? UNVM the butterflies. Thank you. I was purposefully slightly vague due to our situation. Our organization has been requested to stop feeding, providing shelters, and TNRing. Well, more of the are part of the TNR. They are fine with the trapping as long as the cats do not come back. I have to be really careful on what I post due to right now. We do not have any consequences if we were found feeding, trapping. But we are a student-owned organization. If we step on any toes, There might be fines, academic probation. Unfortunately. As well, we cannot trap train. In order to be allowed to trap, even if it's pest control or animal control, per the school's rules we must have someone watching the cages 24/7. These cats have made their home under one of the dorms. So even more, we cannot just leave out traps for both students and the cat's safety. Even more, this is an agriculture-based school. Another part of the reason I'm being vouched. Trust me, we've made them known that we are a free resource for them and only doing good. We have talked to environmental professors, agriculture professors, animal reproduction professors. However, it is all up to the higher UPS within the school if our club can continue or not. Our whole city community loves us because the entire town has a feral cat problem. You, woman thorned. College administrators are all petty morons who care only about appearances. Make the appearance of their actions look worse than what you are asking for. And you will get what you ask for. School paper, town paper, bulletin boards, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Use the public support if you have it. Truly, you have all the power. No matter what they are acting like the situation is. You can trap train. They can't steal from you. They can't harm animals. And they can't stop you from feeding as long as you tidy up after. Check the laws, but I guarantee you have more options than they are telling you. You NVM the butterflies. In the nicest way possible. I agree. It sucks as this is an ag-based school and you'd think they'd know better. The issue is, as I stated in my other comment, we have to be very careful before contacting the news, school paper, etc. We have already posted on Instagram and Facebook that we are rehoming all of the feral campus cats due to campus issues, and that we do not know what will happen to our kitties if our organization is fully coming to a stop. We are working very hard to keep our club activities in motion. In order to do so, though, we have to be very strategic and act as if we are helping and compromising. This colony, too, is in a bad place. There isn't really anywhere else that these cats can be moved to around where they've made their home. Or else we'd just change where we feed them. This colony is the worst due to their trap savviness. Our only litters so far have come from this colony. So, we understand the issues with this colony. The rest are no issue to the campus. I still don't think we can trap train unless a student, and its finals weeks, is willing to sit out with the trap 24/7 or be willing to set up a drop trap, live trap every single day to feed, then wait until these cats come to eat from the trap. Otherwise, we risk the chance of the campus confiscating our traps or another student messing with, stealing a cat once it is trapped. Unless I am understanding the process of trap training incorrectly? You, woman thorned. You just have to get someone who wants these cats gone to agree not to throw the trap away. They want the cats gone, right? Then they can do nothing for a few weeks. It's really the only way. You NVM the butterflies. Thank you for your advice. I would love to be able to do it. This colony is right in front of a freshman dorm though. They live in a hole that this colony dug up. IDK. 10 years ago? That goes under the front of the dorm. So, what would your solution be for students not messing with the traps? Even if we get permission to keep the traps out, I'm afraid students will mess with it. Especially if there is a cat in the cage. Even if the cage is open, I'm worried about liability. Injury to the cats, injury to the students, or the chance that the students will take the cats into their dorms. The only way I can think of this working is if during their feeding times, around 5:50 p.m. and 9 p.m., several students feed. Another issue about being on a college campus, and just sitting out there for a couple hours with the trap open then leaving. Still, that takes time out of my day, or another volunteer. Lozenge. Thread 2. U. Crepuscular crone. Unfortunately, when there are lots of possums and raccoons around, this is difficult. They learn when and where feeding times are. I've successfully, and unintentionally, caught a few possums this way, but not the one Tom I've been trying for. I really sympathize with Op. I live in a college town. 2. It takes a combined effort of students and community members to successfully TNR. U. Deleted. I've caught a possum this way too, but also then the intended cat. U. NVM the butterflies. I didn't think about that either. We have 2 raccoons that visit this colony during the nighttime. We've almost accidentally caught some skunks before. Thank you for your support. As well, we have a meeting tomorrow with the Dean of Student Involvement, but if they ask us to stop, then that's really the end of our group. I'm trying to stay positive though. I don't tread it at work. Can you post an update? Hoping you'll get more support from the higher ups. NVM the butterflies. If y'all are really interested, yes, I can post an update after the meeting tomorrow. It's at 4 p.m. I do get emotional after these meetings, as I am the main speaker and I feel a lot of responsibility. So I can't promise it'll be right afterwards. I'm trying to stay hopeful though. Lozenge. Hash update on help trapping trap savvy cats plus rant. Advice? June 11th, 2023. Hello. I apologize if this isn't the right way to go about it, but I had a couple of people asking for updates on my original post made here. /en. Removed redundant link. When I was asking about help trapping some trap-savvy cats, I also included some of the issues I am currently having, and just wanted to share more info I guess, and rant a little bit lol. So update on the colony. We've only caught 3 more kittens since my original post, no more adults as of now. We talked to our school operations a second time, and it went really bad regarding our TNR club. More higher-ups came. The ones who are higher up on the chain, and really complained, said some stuff that we really did not appreciate. Plus, this person tried to throw me personally under the bus and get my other TNR group members against me. I guess I will share the whole story. Not really afraid of any consequences anymore and just want help, I guess. I apologize if this post is not necessarily intended for this sub or if I ramble too much. I am part of a TNR group that was created out of a college campus. We are considered a college club. We do not receive any funding from the school. Now we have an official letter that states this as well. And our club has been active since 2012. Our school is in the middle of nowhere and has a feral cat crisis throughout the county. On our college campus, there was originally 200 plus cats. As of now, we had 34 documented cats, and out of that we have spayed, neutered and vaccinated 16. Out of these cats, 6 of them are roamers, meaning they do not come for daily feedings and are commonly only seen during mating season. Having that, we have 11 out of 15 females now spayed. They don't come around often lol. More details is that due to it being college, the officers' leadership team basically changes every 4 years. So there is different levels of participation when it comes to the TNRs. During COVID, as well, before I was associated, part of the club, TNRs were not allowed to be performed due to not being allowed to have club meetings, nor were the vets doing surgeries for ferals. We saw a population boom due to this and the lack of only occasional TNRs for about 4-ish years. However, I am crazy, lol, and passionate. We have spread our TNR help to be off campus to gain more positivity for our club within the community. And since November 2022, along with being full-time college students, we have spayed, neutered, vaccinated 35 cats and adopted out 19 of these cats. This is the most participation that our club has done since its beginning, which, unfortunately, has made our club a target. Obviously, feral cats are nuisances. They kill wildlife, use the restroom in undesired places, have mating behaviors, and cause damage. Otherwise, we would leave these cats alone. Our club buys, maintains, and sets up Tupperware shelters for our cats. Starting early last year in the beginning of the fall semester, we noticed some of our shelters going missing, including a doghouse that was donated. We also had an issue where students, staff were incorrectly feeding the cats, leaving full 40-pound bags of food out at a time, which attracted other wildlife and was right next to an educational building, which caused a lot of issues, especially with people thinking it was our club doing this. So, with these two issues, we contacted our campus operations, the people who maintain our campus, to see what was happening. Once again, we are students. We arrived to the meeting figuring that they would ask us to move our shelters elsewhere or something else. No. We went into the meeting and these people said to shut our club down immediately. Another aspect is the campus operations are technically hired by the college, but not part of the college. As in, they have no way to mess with our academics or necessarily give us consequences that I know of. They demanded we especially stop feeding and providing shelters, as the shelters were an eyesore for touring students and staff, and that us providing shelters and feeding the cats are causing more cats to come to campus, as if there were 200+ cats on campus happily thriving before our club even began. And these people would not listen to any education. We would say something and they would be like, yeah, that's cool, but y'all have to stop. They also were fine with us continuing TNRs if there was no R. Also, no scheduled feedings. They said the only time we were allowed to feed is when it's inside a trap. They also said we are not allowed to TNR unless we have a home set up for a cat. Yes, a home for a feral cat. Which, even after explaining what a feral cat was, they didn't understand. So, we were obviously mad and upset. However, due to us being students, we have to tread very carefully or we risk our academics being at risk, and a large percentage of our club are people who are here due to scholarships, including me, our advisor, a professor who sponsors our club and is the only way it stays running, is also trying to retire soon and cannot risk being fired. Due to our club, she already was almost disqualified from the Professor of the Year plus a bonus. Thankfully she won. Another thing that was upsetting, without saying too many extra details, this school provides a private program and a large portion of the students here are working on animal science, wildlife degrees. When it comes to applying for vet school, our alumni club members have said the vet schools love seeing our club on their applications. As someone trying to be a vet, this is also my future applications, education, career at risk if our club is not active. As I said previously, this school is in the middle of nowhere, so it is very hard to find jobs, especially animal jobs that aren't already taken from other private students. We also asked then what was their plan with the cats was if not TNR or using us. They said, it's not like we're going to stand outside and tea them. Which, why would you say that? After talking to our county animal control, animal shelter, and our mole within campus operations, their plan is either animal control plus euthanasia or ask volunteers who work with campus operations, who already do labor-intensive work, to trap the cats and relocate them. So, we set up a second meeting with them to see if we could better compromise. To add fuel to the fire, all of this was happening about a month and a half before summer, and we get kicked out of the dorms campus over the summer. which meant that none of our members would be there in order to secure the safety of our feral cats. This meeting went worse. An even higher-up came and just ripped into us. Some highlights. Let's call this guy Bulldog. Said he adopted a feral cat and kept her in the house and he didn't see her for a year. Just the food disappearing. Then recently she will finally sit on our lap. Great for him. We're college students in dorms that do not have the resources to rehabilitate ferals. Said he once saw 12 cats in a parking lot. So obviously TNR isn't working. Then, we asked why he didn't contact us so that we could perform a TNR there. And he was silent for that. Also, our largest colony is 6. Although we have several colonies on campus, they don't sit in groups more than 6. Threatened to invoice our club for the damages the cats have done, which he said was $2,000. Which a D1 school with thousands of students paying tuition to have. Overall, things weren't looking great for us. We officially asked our members and others to stop feeding. They took away the last of our shelters. And we released a post asking for barn homes for all of our ferals. We have some cats that are more community cats than feral. And we were really worried these were the first ones to go. Especially our FAV campus cat named Chunk Chunk, who is 8 years old and has lived his entire life on campus, after 810 failed adoption attempts. Then, we made a meeting with basically student organizations. The people who oversee and approve, deny clubs and do everything for student involvement. That meeting went so much better. They were understanding, receptive to our education, and questioned campus operations, especially as we all are working towards animal science degrees. They wondered why they wouldn't listen to the people who are the most educated about the situation. In the room, even one of the ladies there admitted she hated the cats, but loved us because we help with the populations. And this is the first year she has not seen any cats on the daily since she began working 12 years ago. So obviously, our TNR efforts are working. Then, on the last week of school, we had someone anonymous send us an email saying that campus operations were trying to catch cats. They had several Tupperware boxes, the same size-ish we use for our shelters, set up and were cut so that they fit a trap in them. The traps were set around secretive parts of campus. We, of course, went around and set off all of the traps. It was just so sneaky and horrifying. We also have several neighborhoods nearby where people let their unspayed, neutered cats roam. Another reason we have a pop problem, and we take several precautions to make sure we don't catch anyone's pet. And if we do, as worse, they get spayed, neutered, then returned back. The fact they had these traps set up 24/7 with no one watching them, in Tupperware boxes in the heat, I can only imagine it would be a death sentence for any animal trapped in there. Freaking out, breathing heavy, and in a hot container. Thankfully I was able to return to campus recently and totally did not feed all the cats. As of right now everyone is still there. I am just so stressed over these cats and their futures. And the future of our club. What should we do? We've contacted Alley Cat Allies, but we cannot use their extreme measures just yet. News reports. Due to the fear of our academics and our advisor's job, should we ask our city council to set up a cat colony registration so that we can have more documentation of our efforts and our cats? I just don't know what we should do at this point. Even petitioning can be risky, as it would be us against the school. A reminder that I am not OOP. Also, I wanted to say, if you have difficulties with the formatting for whatever reason, please let me know. I strive to make these as readable and accessible as possible. I have mild dyslexia myself, and not near as mild ADHD, but I know I must have a lot of blind spots as well. If you can think of anything, don't be afraid to shoot me a message or comment. Also, I have left a picture of Chunk Chunk in the comments below. You're welcome, Sir Dom. When my cat left out an accidentally opened front door and disappeared, I spent weeks looking for him. A nice lady lent me 4 traps she used for TNR and I set them out in the neighborhood. For the next 7 weeks I checked on those traps between 68 times a day, including 2 times each night, because I was worried that wildlife would get caught in the traps and freeze to death. This went on from April to June, at night or die from overheating in the day. Just when I was about to declare defeat and return the traps, I found my beloved cat because he was a mile away begging strangers for food, and they posted his picture on Facebook. He was chipped, so we knew it was him. In all those weeks we caught 3 raccoons, a fox, 3 possums and 1 wild cat. All were released back into the wild. It's really hard work. This reminds me of my old university. There are a lot of stray dogs in the city and on campus, so some students also made a club, and were able to control the in-campus population. So instead of a revolving door of dozens of dogs in and out of campus, they were able to keep 8 constant dogs in campus that were clean, fed, medicated and vaccinated, and kept the other dogs away. But it wasn't enough for campus admin. So they had to find homes for those dogs, and the campus went back to a bunch of dogs that may or may not be ill and may or may not be friendly just walking around. Also, they stink. The old well-kept group didn't stink. I am really surprised that it wasn't you, Kittendilin Mama, that posted this. Mad respect for TNR programs from someone that grew up in a rural area where people would dump unwanted pets. Reminds me of my old college. They were an ag school and would throw a fit about the feral colonies constantly. Lucky a few high-up employees were running it, so the school didn't mess with the program, since they'd lose some key positions. This screams Texas A&M lol. Current leadership is deadpan face, deadpan face. I used to work for the city and my husband is an Aggie alumni. They could potentially raise enough fuss with the city of CS, or just have a non-student tag Rusty, local news guy who lives for stuff like this. Examples of the Sakura ear clip from my favorite celebrity cat. https straycat.tumblr.com/tagged/straycat. More importantly, OOP's picture of the fantastic Chunk Chunk. https www.reddit.com/r/colonycats/comments/14etoof/ our oldest community cat Chunk Chunk. This is wacky. Campus operations are hired from outside campus, so they have no control over us. They threatened us academically. This is so infuriating. Ignorant people refusing to listen to people who actually know what they're talking about, and blindly insisting on doing the worst possible things that will both increase suffering and, at best, fail to solve the problem, or, more likely, will make it even worse. If only I could somehow slap sense into people I don't know, in an unknown location. Oops, college wants to kill their feral cat. What? Program phew. The best and hardest thing to do would be to get the alumni or donors to the university involved. The people with money are the only ones the campus administration will listen to. Years ago I used to help with inventory counts for a company that manufactured aviation equipment, and they had a dozen feral cats constantly hanging around the parking lot. Bushiest cats I've ever seen. I will say that large feral colonies smell terrible. When I lived on Oahu, there was a bus stop I had to transfer at that had a feral colony nearby of about 40 plus cats. You only saw the kittens during the day or a random single cat, but at night all of them would be running about because at some point a volunteer had fed them. It genuinely smelled terrible and rivaled the stank of human waste that some homeless settlements had in Hawaii. I really can't describe the unpleasant odor, but it's pungent and chokes you. I still support TNR and feeding ferals, but I could definitely understand why a school or business would be against it as well. As a cat parent myself, my heart aches reading this. In my region, ferals are not that much a problem. We have many organizations which are working day and night in TNR. And even had my own cat one time brought back, 'cause she slipped out and just wanted to check out the neighbor's furniture a street down. See no evil. I really hate people like Bulldog, just spewing nonsense and unwilling to do something of real effect. This entire thing is so wild to me. In my country, a bunch of organizations are trying, and succeeding slowly, to ban outdoor cats altogether. If you own a cat, it's gotta stay inside or in a cattery or a cat run. I don't think they're exterminating the ones they catch. I don't think, but if they did, the sentiment would be to weigh the single cat against the million endangered animals that cat would kill every year for the rest of its life. But they definitely don't release them. This is to reduce diseases and reduce the risk of being run over, but mostly it's because a single cat can kill as many as 1 million native animals a year. I'm not saying this is right for everyone, everywhere, but coming from this culture to realizing that people deliberately run programs to release cats into the wild is a shock for me. Tears of joy. I'm a big fan of TNR. This is my TNR girl who came home to me after living a wild life. And she has no interest in ever going back outside. 2 of my others were from a mama who was on her 3rd litter already and definitely could have benefited from TNR, but no one could catch her. I'm assuming that a licensed vet was doing the neuter space. The wording is a bit vague. Why is euthanasia such a bad option? Obviously, the way campus operations wanted to do it sounds bad. But the OOP seem to think euthanasia is bad in general. I figure if it saves more wildlife, then it's a net positive, right? Hey op, my former feral baby girl appreciates what you're trying to do. Cats are technically an invasive species, as you know. So it's always good to see people look after them. You'll make a great vet. How about we stick the admins in the traps instead?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.